Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the European crossover webinar. I'm sorry for the delay, folks. I was up all night playing with this new platform. Actually, I had it for about almost a week, but they couldn't get the data feed to work. Blah blah blah. They finally got that to go, and I had it for one day, but couldn't even really use it. And so I was up all night uh, playing with this program. And I just conked out for just a little bit. So, but let's go and get started. Hang on one second. Let me go in and pull up what the news is. Bear with me. And I'm actually, excuse me, I decided to actually keep the other platform, Ninja. Bear with me one moment. And that caused a problem because you couldn't run both programs. So I had to pay for an extra feed. Bear with me. Oh, here we go. Okay, coming into today, now we did have Spanish CPI earlier, but coming into today, into the States, we're going to have retail sales at 8:30 Eastern, followed by Canadian manufacturing sales and wholesale sales. And then at 9:15 a.m., we'll have capacity utilization and industrial production, as well as business inventories at 9 a.m. Eastern, and Michigan consumer confidence, University of Michigan. So, and let's go in and and also I compacted all the charts so wouldn't be so many here. So I'm running multiple things on minimal charts. So I have other things, other spaces for this new platform to run in conjunction with Ninja. So like I said, yeah, it was sheesh, I'm burning the midnight oil. But anyway, let's go on and get on to that. We'll go and take a look where we stand here with the indices. I'm even getting used to where I moved everything here. Bear with me. So we got the Nasdaq here, and we're pressing. Let's go and take a look here at the Nasdaq on a 2-hour chart. You can see here we're pressing up against here and still continue to move higher. We actually have the VWAP off of the all-time high coming up in here, and that's going to be this gray mark, and that's going to be right here at 13,293. So not that far. And my thought is, I was up all night, we would actually see. Take a look here on the S&Ps. We'd actually see us visit here, and then we pull back. Then we come back here and pull back. We got into this range, and we pull back. We came up here, and then we pull back. And actually 41.34, if you remember, I talked about that. That's the 50% retracement. You see right there? So then you see it pull back, and it come right back. And I was thinking, you know what? I think a lot of people are short that still haven't covered, like from back here as the market took off, and they're probably going to run these people over. So I was thinking as we pull back, and especially right here, I thought, oh, wow, it looks like it's really going to pull back, and we would just come right back and load them right back up again. And we've been doing that, and it doesn't want to sell off. I'm thinking, there's probably a lot of people that have not covered, and they're going to be forced to go in and hang on, or not hang on, but forced to ride it out into the U.S. session, and we may just continue to push. Now, I do like on the S&Ps, this 4150 area. Look at that. That's above that 4134. If we do goose them up even further, but you can see it's been trading very quiet. Once again, was up all night. Was been trading very quiet all throughout the entire Asian session. Right now, I just kind of decided to rest my eyes before the webinar, and didn't even wake up until just a few moments ago after playing with this platform all night. But anyway, and this is something, so kind of what I was able to go and see where the volume that between basically the delta on a very, very ultra short-term basis. This is only going to be on the 5-minute chart, but I can see this, and this kind of helps me because of the way I trade. But like I said, yeah, I spent all day yesterday working on that thing. But anyway, enough of that. Let's go and take a look where we stand here with gold. And we know that gold we talked about that yesterday. our bias chart support had been 1814 followed by 1804. Well, when we saw the big brouhaha, all it did was pull to around 1818, I think it was. So we said, okay, well, we'll put our support now at 1804. And we just pulled back a little bit, not much, like around 1808. And here we are bouncing back. So gold has been one market that's really maintained the bullishness that it had overall. Another thing that what you don't want to take a look at was Bitcoin. And Bitcoin, it almost feels like as if that you expect another shoe to drop. As we've broken out with the whole Elon Musk thing, we've come back, but we've just been kind of hanging around. It almost feels like as if maybe over the weekend we'll break into the lower 40s. We'll see whether or not that happens, but that's what I've been thinking about as far as looking at it, is what potentially can happen. Looking here with, like I said, I got everything all compact now. Looking here with the euro, we're actually pushing a little bit higher. The black line, bear with me, I had to rearrange everything also. Where's my thing? Okay, here we go. With me. So that's going to be Wednesday's opening range here, this black line. And I do label them. So you can see here, that's what's kind of confusing. Wait a minute, let me make sure I've got the right dates. So we've actually come back up here into Wednesday's opening range. You can see the run out of gas right before we get to that opening range low. With that being said, let's just go on and move into the analysis. Bear with me. Once again, I've got everything all moved around now. Hold on. Move to that screen. Okie dokie. Let's go like this here. There we go. I have moved everything completely around, so. But it works, but holy smokes, it was a lot of work. Hang on. There we go with the euro dollar. Make sure I've got it on the right window. Sure do. And Amira says, not forget about platinum, palladium. Okay, we will get to that, Amira. Hang on, actually, we'll look at it just shortly. Bear with me one moment. Happy to do that. This is actually going to take a while to get used to. I had to move everything all around the screens, but everything is hopefully going to work out really nicely. Euro posted a solid slide on the CPI release, the pair, and what the heck? That's not correct. Although I did the analysis, holy smokes, hang on. God, I was working on this thing so long, but I don't even remember that I even did the analysis on this one. Holy smokes, I'm going bananas. So let's go and take a look here on the euro. Wow. I was working on this thing all night long. Hang on. So, okay, so we did go in and see on the euro, yesterday we posted this little doji. You can see it basically it's like a spinner. If it was much higher, we'd be saying it was a spinning top. But we did go in and post this after testing this 2047 area here. And if you look here, that went right to our bias chart support, which was 2048. We've since gone and rallied back up. And the area that we'd be looking at is actually the pink line is important, but actually this is going to be our resistance right there, 21.48. So let's move here. Holy smokes, can you imagine? I was working so long on that, I even forgot the analysis. Wow, did time fly? Okay, so then resistance is going to be right there at that level right there, which would be still be the 20.48, which actually held the market here, but that would be support. Let's go and move into the cable. Take a look at the cable. You can see here that we did go on and test that lower side. Now, we actually had support at 39.90. The low was 40.02. Not that far away here, but we're going to go on and keep the 39.90 just in case we're going to take a slide back. Now, looking as far as resistance, let's go and move into the 2-hour chart. And this, you see this little spinner right here? No, that's not a 2-hour chart. The low right there, that's going to be resistance. So it's going to be actually, wow, that comes in right there. Confluences with this low on this hammer, which once again is going to be right there at 40. Let's just call it 40.80. 40.80. And on to the Aussie dollar. Same thing with the Aussie dollar. We just after this big dip that we had on Wednesday, yesterday we posted almost similar to like the way with the euro in a way, in a sense. You can see here we test a little bit of the downside. We finished a bit weaker from the open, but you can see here we basically didn't change a whole lot from Thursday's. Support previously had been the 76.94 and the low here was 76.89. Not bad. We're actually going to open the door for this to go a little bit lower, which I'm not sure would make it all the way down here, but just be on the safe side, which would be 76.68. With the upside, here's that key 77.58. I want to give it a little bit more room beyond that. Let's go move into the 2-hour chart. Let's go right there. See here? Let's go with 77.74. On to the dollar yen. Despite the way the market rallied, the dollar yen has been able to go on and stay pretty steady up in here. We didn't even see much of a change. This was just hardly any movement whatsoever. So on the dollar yen, we're basically keep the same resistance and support here, which you had 934 and 993. We're actually below the 934 right now, but we're still going to go and keep that 934. Let's see here. Okay. No, we haven't done the mirror. We haven't done the platinum palladium yet. We're going to go and do it for you. I don't know if y'all can see a mirrored asset with the platinum palladium, and he says it was a missile alarm. Wow, be careful. And he was afraid we'd missed it. We're actually going to do that. We're actually getting ready to do the platinum palladium for you. Right when we finish the dollar index, before we move on to the others, we'll do the platinum palladium for you. So, but we're going to keep the same here. Buy, short, and resistance for the dollar yen. It was 934. We're actually a little bit below that, but very quiet day, but we'll keep things steady as they are. And let's go and move into the cash dollar index. Sound a little bit nuts. I'm only getting by in about 2 hours of sleep. Holy smokes. Hang on a moment. My intention was just to stay up all night because it's Friday anyways. Let's go move in here to the cash dollar index. So you can see here we had a little bit of a spinner yesterday, but we're pressing back lower again. So, and the dollar index, can you imagine, despite all the hijinks that happened with the equities, we didn't see much of a rally. So it's got to be a disappointment for bulls. You see the close right here? That's going to be resistance, which is 90.78, and support's going to be this high right there, 90.36. 90.36, we already had it there. And the difference is it's going to drop down to 90.78. And we're going to do the platinum palladium right now. Now we talked about this yesterday, and we actually been talking this for a while. We've been in this range, you can see right here. And if you make it a little bit wider, you can make it down to here. But essentially, we've been in this tight range. We said, hey, we need to break above this and hold. We did break above it. And then we got this gravestone doji here. Obviously, we know when the equities all went to heck, we started to slide back down. Actually, we did pretty good holding this area here at the 1202. But once again, the risk is to go on and come down all the way down here, or at the very least down here to 1189. You're doing pretty good. The market's doing pretty good right now at 1228, but the market would actually need to get above 1256 to reclaim, actually right there, 1258 to reclaim the upside move. But I'll tell you what, it's doing pretty well in light of what all's happened in equities. But then again, we can say that about gold, although platinum's not the same as gold, but it's actually held up very well in a lot of the calamity in equities. Let's go and move into palladium. Palladium. Well, we talked about this 261%. We slid below the 261%. Remember, and I said, wow, this isn't good right here. They came back and tested even further down here. They took out the lows here, and they popped back up, and we're trying to work up a little bit higher. Not bad at all. One thing that's critical, we need to close above this 161%, which is 28.95. You need to go and do that for Friday. If you can do that, that'll keep the bulls think of it as their head above water. But we did pretty good defending this. We could have pulled back, so we did very well. I don't expect this to happen, but we actually need, for bulls to get the upper hand again, we need to close above the close of that gravestone doji, 29.85. With that, let's go and move into Bitcoin. Bear with me. Wait a minute, wrong screen. Like I said, yeah. Hang on, let's see. Go to the other screen. It's been a long night. Hang on. Which screen? There we go. No, that's wrong screen. There we go. Okie dokie. You can see here we're pressing again here. Look on the Nasdaq. Bear with me. Let's see what these goes. You see? And I'm thinking, to me, this is what I was thinking, like I said, I was up all night in Asia. And I'm like, and every time I look, it started to pull back. I'm like, wow, it looks like it's curtains now. And it kept coming back. I'm thinking, I think these people are stuck. And they're not going to let them out of jail. And we're probably going to keep on creeping higher until we close out the U.S. session. It certainly looks like that. And as I told you, we're actually above the 50% back. You see that? Or we're right at it. Has not been any signs of a give back. So anybody that was short said, oh, I just need to get past the US session yesterday, they'll dip back. Well, they haven't seen that, and here we are pressing. I think I'm kind of getting an earache. Okay, so let's go and move into Bitcoin. So we saw, as I said, this old big break here in Bitcoin. My concern is, and once again, I'm not trying to make an idea like, oh, this is where it's going to go to. But once again, you usually see a fall like this. And let's go to a daily. One big drop is not enough, because anybody was short, even if you're considering long, I wouldn't want to step in at this point. Like, I considered even trading Bitcoin. They come out with the new micro Bitcoin futures, so you can add up multiple contracts. So you don't have to carry the much bigger contract. I think the margin on much bigger contract is $140,000. So you can trade the small one and you just put in, stack a few of those contracts together and you're okay. I'm not going to step in now. It's too wild. I mean, after this move, because we had, pretty good solid movement in here. My concern is we're going to drop right back down and probably head down here, there, to the lower 40s. So I'm like, I'm stepping away. So I'm using my example as you could see this market going and pair back and drop back even further. And I think that's a concern. Even if you think that's a great buying opportunity, you probably say, well, let me wait a few more days. And that's what I'm thinking we may have to pull back. I mean, I have traded, as I said, I was in Bitcoin and I had gotten out in the high 40s. And that's the last time I dealt with it. But I feel more comfortable trading a futures product. But I still have money in that other account. But anyway, I feel more comfortable trading the futures product. But nonetheless, like I said, I think that we still can go and drop back lower. So if we're looking at for support, I'd have to say we'd have to be going right back down here towards the bottom, which is 46,644. Let's get this. And on the upside, let's go to the 2-hour chart. Let's take a look at the fib. Hang on. Um, 38% would be 51,196, but it already did that. You see here, and one thing about Bitcoin, it sure does like to use the fibs. So like there would be resistance right there, 52,303. Boy, look at that. Look at this continued move here in Spoosh here. Oh my goodness. This up all night is wears on you. Hang on now. Let's go on and move in now to the S&Ps. So we did go on and see this move yesterday, and I was up. We were up in Asia. I mean, in Europe yesterday. I remember talking to Didier, and as we saw the market keep falling and falling and falling. And I thought this was real key here, this 40-40, which also confluence, which is a 50% back, confluence with the 40-37. Let's open this up. We can see it for a little bit more perspective. So this was really a key level here. You see that right there? And, at the time I was telling him, I go, because beyond 40-37, we had, I think it was 40-14. And you had right here 40-25 and 40-14. I said, hey, look, when you see a 40-15, you get, when you get a market and the intensity or the velocity was so strong, you're gonna have to probably have 20 handles. At the time it was so strong because you're not going to come in at the exact level or whatever. We actually did pretty good in the sense that it went to 40.29 before we rebounded. And only thing I was kind of like miffed about myself is I always came into the US session. This was the 10 a.m. and this is a 2-hour bar. So man, when that thing closed solid, instead of running out of gas at 41.06, it pushed even further towards this 41.18-ish area and actually pulled up further before it came back down. I covered, I didn't, I did okay with it, but nonetheless, the way this market came back, one of the things after yesterday was I felt that it wasn't I misread it. I said, wow, how could you miss this bar? You knew that would push up at least to 41.12, if not 41.18. And we got even up to like around the 41.23 or 22.5, something like that, before we ultimately paired back. But I said, you know what, I'm not going to do anything. And we did go in and pull back in here, and the market came right back. Looked like it was going to break low, and here we are pushing higher. I think, like you said, they're just going to push these people. 41.34, let me lower this here. It should be lower here. Is the 50%. I'm going to go right here for the resistance. You see this bar there? That would be 41.43. Oh, and you remember, because I have all these, I remember these levels. Remember, 41.32 was key before the market had broken higher. This is on that original dip back here, and remember, there's 41.48 and 41.52. But here's that 41. I'm going to go with this 41.43. 41.43. Let's go with that 41.43 for resistance. But if you're looking at above, you would actually have 41.43-ish. That's what I think is stretch here. But 41.48 is critical and key. You know what? I'm going to go with that. 41.48, remember? And then 41.52, and then 62. Remember 62? And then the pivot, 41.67. So let's go with that 41.48 for the resistance. And for support, let's go into a half-hour chart. It took me a lot of work to get all these things arranged. We're only using 4 Ninja charts, and I like Ninja because the clarity of the bars. Support is going to be right now. It's going to be 41.12. Remember when the market made that first run up there? It kind of paused at 41.12, so it's going to be 41.12. It's a little bit tight, but I think the pressure is going to remain. So 41.12. And let's go on and move on to the Nasdaq. Obviously, we're still scooting higher on the Nasdaq. So now let's go here. Now, I don't want to look at the daily, although this is key. 13.314 and 13.343. The 313, 343 is almost, I want to say, too obvious. I don't think we have any choice. It's going to be 13.343. Let's take a look at the fib back. When it's that obvious, it's usually the market won't get to that level. Let's go with that. 13.313. 13.313. Let's also move this back. This is the rebound. This is the VWAP for the non-farm payroll highs. We'll keep that anyway. Let's Yeah, 13,313. This is really not the day to fight it because it's maintained this strength all through Asia. And believe me, I was here all through Asia, working on this platform setup. Support, let's go to a 30-minute. Yeah, this has just been steady Eddie all through Asia. Look at this. It's just been steady Eddie all through Asia. Let's go to the 30-minute. Let's just go right there. 13,162. I would be very worried trying to short this thing right off the bat. It's just been, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I was with this thing all through Asia. Actually, and Steven saw some of y'all coming into the chat room saying hello. Saw Didier, remember, I think it was like 12:30 Eastern, I believe it was. Might have been a little bit before then. Some of them were already coming in saying hello, good morning. But this has been steady Eddie all the way through. So I would be worried because, like I said, as I kept thinking, I'm thinking, you know what? I think there's just people that are still short, and then she's going to hold these people's feet to the fire all the way into the close of the week. Now let's go and move into the gold market. Now I actually need to remember where I put gold here. Hang on. I guess it's on this side. Nope, it's down. Yeah, here it is. But that's a 30-minute, so I've got the 2-hour down here. There we go. So we talked about gold, and we said how gold had really held up very well, and it continues to. We'd actually put the bias chart, remember, support yesterday. Remember, we did keep the 1814/04. So the support at this point would be 1818. 1818. So let's go here. And resistance, we're going to stick with this 18. I'm going to stick with it. We did lower it to 1832. I still like that 1850, but for today, we know that the market's targeting 1877 on a short-term basis. I like this area right there. So let's call that 1842. And let's go into the crude oil market. Hang on. This I actually have to get my bearings on. I have to get crude oil down here. Okay. Do I have it up here too? No, I don't. And let's see where bonds are at. 10-year notes. Oh, wow. No wonder. Look at this. 10-year notes still holding up pretty well too. Going into crude. So crude is interesting in the sense that we'd actually closed below that 65. Remember, we had 64.29 before. It defended it. We moved it up to 64.78. The market did take another dip here. Support now is going to be right there. You see that? That's going to be $64. With resistance now. Let's get that just above. Right there. 65.42. And let's move it to the SPOOs. Got to be really careful here. But I like a push to 41.48. Potentially. I'll say potentially. Here to 41.48. Are they squeeze them even further? And then finally, I think we find some sellers there. 41.48. But they are really keeping their feet to the fire. Now, like I said, we have reached the 50% back. You see right there? But they may want to just squeeze them a little bit further. You can see right here, that is 41.53. Let's just consider that like the 41.52 is one handle higher, but that's a key level. I think we may just make it to 48 and then kind of run out of gas there. We'll find out. This is a 50% back, so maybe we'll struggle a little bit here, but ultimately I think I don't think you'll find any solid sellers until we get to the 41, 48/52 level. So that's what we have for today. There's the bias chart. Like I said, I was up all night working with this platform, first I had them on separate screens. Then I felt that wasn't going to work, and then decided to go in and put it into shared screens. But for the way I trade, I think it works best. So I needed to keep both platforms. So I'm pretty happy with that. We'll go in and get the bias chart posted into the chat room. Thanks for joining us here on the European Crossover webinar, and we'll get this posted. Thank you.